Hello, my friends. Today we are talking about stress management, and this is something that I feel can really make our lives so much more enjoyable if we just understand how stress sits in our body and how we can and have access to looking at a stressful situation and then releasing it and not letting it store in our mind, in our joints, and in our like fascia, like actually the tension from the ups and downs of like the normal daily life can either store in our body, or we can practice simple tools to get rid of the stress and be able to get back to like homeostasis, back to that parasympathetic nervous system as much as possible, as soon as possible. So think about like a stressful day at work. So we have all had a stressful day at work. Maybe somebody is not nice. Maybe there's deadlines. Maybe there's like just whatever unrest is going on at work. So we can spend all day, 8 hours at work, and not be happy and feel uncomfortable. And then that tension in our body rises, right? Like we start getting maybe an upset stomach, understanding like, does it feel like a pressure in your heart? Do you feel tension in your shoulders? Do you feel tension in your jaw? So the first thing that we want to do when understanding stress and how to get rid of it is knowing everybody has it, knowing that we will have it the rest of our lives, but understanding and bringing awareness to how it makes you feel and what's going on. So if I just took that stressful day and I just continued to let it snowball into my afternoon, when I got off work, when I drive home, I'm not as happy when I get home, I'm complaining about my day. And then when I sleep, I'm not sleeping as well. So that stress from a stressful day is now in my body and is like in actually our tissues, and that's how we get injuries and all kinds of like autoimmune diseases and different like heart conditions, and all these things are understanding the difference between acute stress, which is stress that happens quickly and you let it go, and then a buildup of chronic stress, which is what causes these diseases. So there's a lot of tools that we can use. I'm going to keep going back to awareness because we really need to see what stresses us out and not ruminate over it, but just bring awareness to it, quickly problem solve it. So try not to just be like, oh, I'll deal with that later. Oh, I'll have that hard conversation later. Try to, as much as possible, quickly deal with it, whether it's sending an email, whether it's a conversation, whatever that is. And then just like an animal, so like if you think about like a deer that's going to get attacked by a lion, that as soon as the deer gets away, they do like a whole body shake. So I use this. So say if like you and I are in a heated conversation and I can feel the tension start to arise in my body. I get an upset stomach. I'm starting to get a dry mouth. I can feel tension in my head. Maybe I'm not thinking clearly. I'm not having great conversation because I can feel the stress rising. So I can even just kind of squeeze my hands or just kind of roll my shoulders a little bit without maybe you even recognizing. But the biggest tool that we can do in dealing with stress at that moment is breathe deep. So with me, just inhale, count of 4, just see if you can get it all the way down to your belly. Hold at the top and then just exhale and just feel the tension settling in your body. So as you continue to breathe, we're having this conversation. All of a sudden, when we're flushing blood through our system, also check into your posture. So if we start going like this when somebody's coming at us, we're decreasing blood to our brain. We're decreasing like the circulation. So think about your posture, think about your breath, and then just real quick, like releasing anything from like your hands or your knees, or you can even just kind of like stomp your foot a bit. And afterwards, bring attention to where it feels in your body and see if you can just create maybe 10 tools for stress management. Because one thing that we tend to do is when we had a stressful day is we overeat. And so because we're not getting rid of our stress, like hour to hour, moment to moment, and we're holding on to it, then that stress comes in. And then whether it's wine or whether it's food or whether it's scrolling, that is what we think, or watching TV, That's what we think is getting rid of stress, but actually it's not. So really what we need to do, and what works for decreasing stress, is making like 10 or 5 different techniques that help you feel better. So one is going outside, looking out at the sun and doing some just gentle sun salutations, breathing in deeply. Of course, the next one is breathing, which we talked about. Another one is working out or shaking your body vigorously. So that releases tension and stress that's in our joints. So then it doesn't accumulate into a frozen shoulder or into these like body issues that we're holding on to. Another thing is turning on light and beautiful music. Aromatherapy is really good. So maybe it's you have essential oils or you have flowers or something that's like aromatherapy. So just making a list of things. Maybe it's a hug, which is really great. Like when you come home and you've had a hard day, hug your significant other and just say, hey, I just need like a good long hug. And that releases, or your friend. So just finding some things. A dog actually is really great. Layla, I don't know if she came in the video, but she's great for my stress reduction. I can just have her sit on my lap and I already feel better. So when we're thinking about stress and stress reduction, first is awareness. Second is breathing gently, and then understanding that you do have the control to take it down a notch. My son always says it's not that deep, bro. So that's like goes on in my head. Hey, it's not that deep, bro. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine. So I tell myself, you're okay. You're safe. You're able to deal with whatever situation this is. And then I find my tools so I don't let it store in my body. So I hope this was helpful. Again, when you think about like rest and digest, a lot of times we eat when we're stressed, and then the food actually is assimilated in our body in a negative way instead of calming down before we eat. So even if it's like, maybe you just had too much coffee, or maybe you've been on the computer too long, and then you go to eat and you don't calm yourself first, your food is not digested in a way where you're getting all the micro and macronutrients. It's also because our gut, like the gut brain barrier, our gut doesn't digest as well. So then we have bloating, we're storing fat, and then we're also wreaking havoc on our blood sugar levels. So if you've ever worn like a CGM, you can see like a continuous glucose monitor. You can see if you don't have a good night's sleep, or if you have a big fight with your significant other, that your blood sugars shoot way higher than they normally do. So remembering that when we eat is like rest and digest first, or don't eat when you're upset, and then wait until that's passed and then eat in a calm situation. So not when we're driving, because that can, create stress as well. Okay, again, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know how you're doing, and I can't wait to connect. Bye.